Hey everyone, it is end of Friday and I am shattered, but I'm feeling good. I feel like I turned things around a little bit this week. There were definitely some challenges in the middle of the week. But it is almost 6:30, so I should definitely wrap up and put everything down, except I really do want to wrap up and do a vlog because I like doing this. So I've been at the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna, is there something interesting to share? And it's just been so bitsy throughout the day, or it's been stuff I've already sort of shown. So not really and I'm literally just sort of wrapping up for the day, and I see these piles on my desk that my PA so helpfully puts together so I don't have to, like when I read the questions of the day, it's always been like this dumb conflict for me that they're on my phone because they're in the comments and I can't like read them exactly or credit who gave them or whatever. So I have a big catch-up pile of a lot of questions, and I thought, you know what, I reckon every now and then, because I often feel guilty, I won't get through all of them. So this isn't particularly, YouTube, clickbaity, high-performing content, but who cares? Sometimes it's actually just about connecting with you guys. In fact, that's really all this is about. So I'm just going to answer all of them. Let's do it. Melville 496. Some of these I might have answered, but anyway. Oh, literally, that is one I answered in... When did I answer that one? In the vlog coming out next Monday, because I pre-recorded it because it's going to be part of a Patreon behind-the-scenes thingy I'm sharing. So Melville 496, you have that to look forward to. Jaden Briar 7058. This could be a cool concept for a series of videos. What would old toys or iconic things look like if they were designed today? That would be a cool series of videos. I like that. What are some cool toy ideas that I could redesign? I really enjoyed doing Castle Grayskull. Rachel Duffy 9458. I'm curious, what is your main platform that you use to gather inspiration for your YouTube channel? That is a good one. Actually, I think TikTok. Like YouTube, I mainly watch like tech videos and AI videos and just like, the stuff I that isn't work. Whereas TikTok is just the feed, and often it's creative stuff. And very often I'll come across stuff I'll be like, ooh, and I'll like put it down. It's like this immediately grabbing thing and it will spark an idea. So that is kind of one of my main like idea gathering places. Sesame Kerami says, would you ever consider creating a custom 12-inch 1/6 scale action figure doll? If the motivation and the click pitch was right, maybe. I mean, I did sort of do that with a collab with Zetabu, who made a Jazza doll. It's the closest I've got. Something. Rebecca Sue says, did you choose the autographed print for the carry-all bags? Can we get a sneak peek? Yes, I can show you something cool. So this is the original artwork. I made this. This was based on the vote, the poll. I put out a few poll options to the people who backed the bag. Quick update on that, by the way. They're currently all like manufactured and being shipped, and I believe they're arriving in the next like week or so. I'm just saying this off the top of my head, but I'm aware that they're shipping in February. It's more delayed than we'd hoped for and expected. We were hoping to get that out late last year. Sometimes stuff is just out of control. We really do the best that we can, and Reed and Brenda, who we work with from MuseKits, have done a stunning job given the challenges that we've had, and we've got a fantastic product going out to you guys, including all the signed prints. I signed like, what was it? I think it was like a couple of thousand prints or something. So that was a whole thing. I should have behind the scene that, but I wasn't vlogging at the time. So I would, if I was doing that now. Pat Merklin says, how about a little storytelling about your cameo appearance as both a clue and clue giver in 1000's amazing Last Supper epic? Ooh, there's not a huge storytelling. I can give you a little storytelling. He touched base with me, I think it was right around or right after I did the collab with him for the last big painting thing, or it was connected, I forget, it was connected to something. And he sort of explained what the go was, and we had a little video call meeting and tried to figure out how to fit it into, he was just like, in whatever the next videos you're working in, just fit it in, just fit something in somewhere. So we figured out what it would be and we tucked it into the next video. Apparently his audience are very sleuthy and can figure some pretty obscure stuff out. Yellhetrius, how do you recover when you're feeling burnt out? What do you do to decompress and take a break when you have so many deadlines? It's really hard, like to have a brain that is wired to be unsatisfied, not moving. Like I feel like depressed and unmotivated and crap if I'm not working towards something, because it then also means I'm always working towards something and usually too many things. And I also burn myself out by being like that, by doing that, by trying to satisfy that. How I recover, what I did this week, fuse break, step away. I'm really trying to incorporate more self-care, whether it be, daily walks I'm doing in the morning now, listening to podcasts that are sort of motivational or inspiring. Trying to get, I go through ebbs and flows of fitting meditation or stretches and just like general, some journaling. I'm not always able to do it, but I really it's something I always try and come back to and do more and find myself remotivated to do more. But they're the main ways. But in general, honestly, if I catch myself feeling that way, finding the chance to just stop and just take a breath, and it helps me to physically put my hand on my heart and just sort of breathe and give yourself, that comfort. I find that really helpful, but I'm certainly not a master at it. I'm a master at going down the path towards burnout. I've been doing that for a long time and I'm still here. The Kuba 9352, are you ever going to develop your own markers? That was actually a project that I was secretly hinting at and had been starting the path to develop at one point. There are just so many of these things that there are just lots of challenges and things that come into question and become difficult, and just it fell by the wayside is another. And making something like that, there's so much involved. There's so what do you patent, and who are you working with, and if you're working with someone, what are the contracts, and then by the time you're sort of going through all the legalities and you've got a lawyer involved, and it just really slows down the process, but it sort of has to. But then also if you're planning on anyway, I had gone down that path. Maybe we'll go down that path again in the future, but at the moment we're stepping back towards doing things that are more approachable sooner, and that's the better way to learn how to do this stuff so we can get towards bigger goals. Psycad, follow up to the answer about shelving the portable hobby box, which I answered in the Going Crazy with Color vlog. Would you consider designing a 3D printable version? That would be a whole project from scratch that I don't have time for, so no. And it worked so well. It works so well as a laser cut design, and it was built, from the ground up as a laser cut design, but also 3D printing wouldn't have the physical integrity to hold. It's a lot. It's heavy. It holds a lot. 3D prints do not. So no, sorry. Anne-Marie Barreiro, since Insert Art is going on hold, where did all the members go in the studio? Would love to know what their new position and projects are. That's a great question. So you saw Kat, and we actually had an end of year sort of company dinner and meet up, and everyone got to get together then, even though by then Insert Art had sort of been put on its hiatus. It was really nice for everyone who had ever worked on it all to sort of celebrate our efforts together. In answer to your question, Alicia, of everyone involved in Insert Art, is the only one who's ever been employed by the studio and is still employed by the studio. She's actually here now full time, and her time is split between her work with Jazza and QPI and then tabletop time. Otherwise, the other participants were freelancers. So Kat, doesn't work here. She freelanced for Insert Art, and she freelanced coming in to help me out with the colors. And I'm looking for opportunities to work with talented artists, on that freelance basis. And, you never know what it turns into, but that's the current situation. Mel Beal 496. Will you have QR coded tutorials for coloring tips to get started with the markers for this book? I don't know about the QR coded thing. That I'm sure there's a good reason for having put it that way, but my brain isn't there right now at the end of the day on Friday. But yes, I 100% intend, want, and plan to make resources to help people make the most of a set of 48 markers and a 100-page coloring book. In fact, I want to make a video course on the Jazza Studios shop, and maybe sort of incorporate it with however we sell or Kickstarter, whatever it is, the the markers. Maybe we'll do pre-sales or whatever, but like bundling it. I definitely will. And then even if people don't get the colouring book or that set of markers, and if they're their own set or a full set of any other brand, the course should still be really valuable. So that is definitely on the agenda. I really am looking forward to doing that. Into the Drawings verse says, if you are releasing the set of handpicked markers with the colouring book, could you opt for the brush and bullet nib markers and not the chisel? Chisel nibs aren't great for colouring book. I'm sorry, my personal preference is brush and chisel. That might be controversial to some people, but my personal opinion is you can use the chisel as a bullet nib. You just twist it and use the pointy bit. I use that all the time for details. Sometimes the chisel is useful. I pretty much only use the brush, but that's the same for brush bullet markers. I hate bullet chisel markers, but I always prefer brush chisel over brush bullet. There you go. That's my personal preference. And I can't help but build products out of my personal preference. Last but not least, we got through quite a bloody lot. This is fun. We should do this now then. Maybe this is our Friday tradition. Let me know. I can get through, maybe not all of them, but I got through all of them this time. Montcart says, are those Ohuhu markers? Are you going to buy a set of Ohuhu markers with a colouring book? Are you going to be able to buy a set of Ohuhu markers with a colouring book with lots of exclamation marks and question marks? Maybe. That's where I'll leave it. Cool. Thanks for joining me, guys. This has been fun. I appreciate it. This was. I was like, I'll do a vlog because I'm more out of like a completionist thing. By the end of doing this, I feel really glad for having done it and shared stuff with you guys, and it was a real pick me up. So thank you. I'll see you in the next video. I'm gonna go have a weekend.